Hi class, I just wanted to give a quick tutorial of a couple of things on Google Forms. First and foremost, title your form, something that makes a lot of sense with what your subject is. So, if I have something like mental health survey, right, like that might be good enough. So one of the first things I want you to do is create a title, and this will be and that's the little T, title and description, put in consent form, and copy and paste the consent form that you can find on Blackboard into this little section. So copy and paste. The next part is to have the agreement. And this will be a multiple choice. So you can get the different types of things through multiple choice. And you're going to have two options, I agree and I disagree. And one of the important parts is that you want to make this required. So click the little required button and also go to section based on answer. The reason for this is that if somebody disagrees, we want them to just submit the form and not actually take any of the questionnaire, right? So instead of just be a thank you for participating. The other thing that we were discussing in class on this first page was to have the question about exclusion criteria. So at first they need to agree, but also secondly, they have to be a participant that you actually want. So if you only want college athletes, you want to have an exclusion participation. One that we should all have is about age. So by clicking below, I agree that I am over, or something to be effective, I am over the age of 18. And I'm going to add yes and a no. And again, I want to require this. I want to go down to these three little buttons and go to section based on answer. So if it's no, I want it to just go to submit form. So we have our consent form, we have the agreement, we have now I'm over the age of 18. We should add a section. So this two buttons here adds a section. So now I have a second section. And this is where you're going to start your questions. In this, there's a couple of really cool things you can do. So something that we were noticing is that if you want it on a scale of 1 to 5, something like a linear scale might work better. So, so if you have like a statement that is how much do you agree to disagree, this may be a really nice question, is to have a linear scale. So when it does this, it automatically puts in strongly agree to strongly disagree. And so it gives you these two anchor points. And then you'll have your numbers. That might be easier than having just a multiple choice question. Another thing, check boxes will allow you to get multiple questions. So choose all that apply. So if you had a bunch, clubs, organizations, I'm just thinking about one of the ones we have. If you choose all that apply, now this will allow you to click off multiple. You can also have short answers. So if there's like a 1 or 2 word answer that you want, or a paragraph from participants, I don't think anybody's doing anything with date or time. And I'm not sure about multiple choice grid. Like if you had multiple selections, so this might be like if you had like depression questions or something, and you had feeling sad, down, you might have like feeling little interest or pleasure, and then you might have agree, disagree, whatever, and either agree or disagree, for example, what you will see when you see this is that now you would have a couple of different options for each question. So that might be nice if you have a lot of questions with the exact same options. But the other thing with this is making sure that it actually shows, right? Feeling a little interest or pleasure didn't show everything. And so one of the things you can do is go up to the very top and preview your questionnaire. So now I have my mental health survey, I have my consent form. You'll notice, since I have another section, that only things that show up in this first page is the consent form. So I have to both agree and say that I'm over the age of 18 in order to get to the next form, and then I can look at these. So now that I am reviewing and previewing this, I can see that actually this does show me everything. The other thing you can make sure is you can say, I disagree, but I am over the age of 18. That should kick you out, which it did not. Ooh. Huh. Well, that's a problem, right? Because if they disagree to participate, they should just get kicked out. So this is overriding it. May have to think about how to do this. It may be having a separate section for this. I'm over the age of 18. Actually, that's really important that we have that. So now that I just noticed this, one of the things that I want you to do when you have your unentitled or your form, so here I have mental health survey. The other thing you do, if you just click the form up here, it should save it. When you do the mental health survey, now you're going to need a second section. So add in a section here. So I have my third section. I'm going to move that section. So if I click the three dots, I can move that. I'm going to move this up here. And now I'm going to have the consent form, the agreement, and I'm going to move this exclusion criteria. You don't want to title it exclusion criteria, but this will help with our own kind of internal thing. But you want to say, I don't know what to title this, but it should be a second section so that you say that you're over the age of 18. I think the other thing that I want you to do is go into settings, and when you go into presentation, when they are done with their survey, you don't want them to submit another response. So I unclick that where it says show a link. If you wanted to, you can shuffle your question order. You can show a progress bar. That's sometimes helpful for people to know where they are. You're not going to be doing a quiz. Sorry, but the last thing was your confirmation, which could be thank you for participating in the survey, right? That could definitely be something that you can put in there. You do not want to collect email addresses, right? Because we're doing this de-identified. You don't need a required sign-in. You don't need them to edit or see summary or charts. And we don't need to make this a quiz. So that is how to create a few things for your forms. The other thing that you can do, you can hit send, and this will be how can you actually collect it. I would do this little link. It gives you a nice link, and you can shorten it. So it's just a really short form. So there you go. Do those things on your survey. Just make sure that you have those things